until airtime here on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 1 minute until airtime. We are 1 minute until airtime here on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show. Brian, stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Wake Forest Sports Network.
Live from Miller's on Robin Hood, this is the Steve Forbes Show on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield. Your weekly all-access pass inside Demon Deacon basketball.
Kicks it underneath baseline right. Here's Harris up and under. Drives it, scores it, gets the foul. Taken by Wake. Spillers drives, dunks, and Wake leads by 4.
We did an unbelievable job in defensive transition. I think we're a little more comfortable playing with each other's strengths and weaknesses on the offensive side of the ball.
Send us your question for Coach Forbes to our inbox. Available at wakeradio@learfield.com or tweet your question to the voice of the Deeks at Stan Cotton WF.
Who learned something tonight?
Me.
See?
Yeah.
I didn't know about the nail.
The nail.
See?
Man, I feel
that's
good.
why you come here.
I tell you, that's some high-tech stuff right there.
Learn that stuff from Coach Forbes.
The Steve Forbes Show is brought to you by Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official healthcare partner of the Demon Deacons. Now, alongside Coach Forbes, here's the voice of the Deeks, Stan Cotton.
Okay, we made it. We made it. We made it. Yep. We survived Snowmageddon and have made it to Thursday.
Snowmageddon.
I know. We had to move our show this week from Monday to Thursday because of all the nastiness. Hope everybody survived it, and you are dug out and ready. We got some snow this morning in Davie County.
We got some snow. I flew to St. Louis and back last night, and when we were flying into Greensboro about midnight, it was coming down pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah.
You thought, well, here we go again.
Coach Mackey was a little worried. I'm like, people can fly in snow. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
We were St. Louis, I will tell you, knows how to get rid of their snow. I can tell you that much.
Others don't, but yeah. I would think St. Louis does. People in Iowa know how to do that, right?
Yeah, because we have it a lot.
I'm not so sure people in North Carolina are great at it.
No,
I'm not sure our poor school kids probably won't go back to school until, I don't know, sometime in the summer.
Well, I can tell you since, what was it, 2 weeks ago when we had the ice first?
Yeah.
I haven't had a snowplow on my street since one time, and so it's interesting out there. Got to be careful.
Got to be careful, absolutely. And we're here at Miller's on Robin Hood, and again, we made it to Thursday, and we appreciate everybody being able to switch their schedules, and the folks here at Miller's are great, and we are here ready to go, and we're ready to talk Wake basketball with you for the next hour with the coach of the Deeks. A couple of ways to get to us if you're not here. You can email us, wakeradio@learfield.com, or you can shoot me a post on Twitter at StanCottonWF. We do have our wireless mic out, and I think we have bunch of students here again.
Got them.
It's like 2 shows in a row. They promised they would come back.
They did good
after their debut.
Well, they haven't been in school for a while. They're doing.
That's true.
But they need something to do.
We had a lot of fun with them last week, and they asked some really good questions. And you sent them out of here with some basketball knowledge, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know if it worked. We'll see. I'm going to ask them after. Did the flex work, guys? Did it work for you?
Have you played since last show?
You played each other.
Okay, a little intra-squad scrimmage there.
I bet that was interesting.
Might have to check in with them on the flex offense, see if it. Cooper Swigger is here, by the way.
Cooper's here, yeah.
He's hard to miss. There he is. Yeah,
he's already eaten.
He's already eating it, but Cooper's here, and you can get your picture made, autograph, whatever you'd like with Cooper. We'll have on the air here in a few minutes, talk a little basketball with him. Tonight's show brought to you in part by Sir Winston and Hotel Indigo. Stay where art meets atmosphere. Hotel Indigo and Sir Winston Wine Loft and Restaurant, designed for the creatively curious, bold spaces, local flavors, inspired stays. So how we doing? You made it safely home from St. Louis?
We did.
Big recruiting trip?
Yeah, I went up to see Quentin Coleman.
How'd he do?
He did. I mean, Quentin scored 25 points in 3 quarters.
That's what he does.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. He moved up from, I don't know, he was in the top 100 when we signed him, but he was ranked 20th in the country this week. So he's made a very huge jump. He didn't make the McDonald's All-American game. He was disappointed in that. He was close. And then there's still a couple other All-Star games that he might be able to get into. But, his team is ranked. You know, he goes to a normal, I would say a normal high school. It's not a prep school or a place like Mount Bird or IMG where they recruit. They're ranked 5th in the country. They're really, really good. And he's got a great high school coach, and he's going to be a really good player for us.
And that's part of the deal these days, right? You mix the portal with the younger guys.
Yeah,
and
we went after we had, I don't know, rankings or whatever they are. I think we're in the top 20 in recruiting rankings right now for high school players. And with him and the 2 Placide twins at 6'10" and 6'9", 6'11", we did a good job in the high school recruiting. And you know, it doesn't mean we might not. I'm not saying we wouldn't sign another high school player if he came available, but you know, obviously now it's portal season coming up.
How has that changed, Steve, over the last 3-4 years with high school kids? They know you're going for portal kids, right?
Yeah.
How's that dynamic changed when you visit moms and dads and high school guys?
Well, they always ask about, you know, what are you going to do in the portal? And I'm like, well, I don't know what my roster will look like in the spring, so it's obviously an area that we got to recruit in, but it's all timing. You know, and I think I've said this before, the portal doesn't open now until April 7th, okay? We moved it back even farther for basketball for this year. And so you try to go out in the fall and you sign the best high school players that you can get. And now some programs have shifted their philosophy and have not signed very many high school players or any to wait for the portal. I haven't never really done that. I've always tried to go out like Juke and, you know, get a really good high school player if you can. And we were fortunate this year to get, you know, 3 top 100 players. And then with Quentin moving up as far as he has, I mean, I think he's the 4th highest ranked recruit in the history of the program. And so those guys are going to be really good.
And we will right now take a quick timeout. On the other side, we'll go back to the Wake and State game as we look at the Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist game diagnosis coming up. Wake and Louisville at noon on Saturday, another early start. Not because of snow. It's been scheduled early for a long time. We'll be on the air at 11:30 in the morning Eastern time as Pat Kelsey brings the Cardinals into Winston-Salem. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. And, again, take your questions, wakeradio@learfield.com or tweet @StanCottonWF. We'll take the time out, and on the other side, we'll talk about Wake and State. As you listen to the Steve Forbes Show from Learfield. Spillers got the rebound. Out to Harris, gets it back, dunks it. Going to have to make something happen. Pulls and fires. 14-footer, got it. For a good look at a three. He drilled it.
Hey, Deke fans. Coach Forbes here. As you prepare to watch your Dekes this season, remember to bring along some ice-cold Pepsi. There's something special about watching the Dekes with your friends, eating some great food, and drinking Pepsi. It's a perfect way to cheer the team on to victory. Go Dekes.
Wake Forest basketball is always better with Pepsi.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
More with Coach Forbes after these local messages on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
Stan Cotton here for Roger Marion Automotive. Roger and his staff have been taking care of me and my family and our cars and trucks for years. From tune-ups to oil changes to a state inspection or that weird sound your engine's making that you can't quite figure out. Roger Marion Automotive can handle whatever issue your vehicle has and get you back on the road with confidence and at a very fair price. Roger Marion Automotive between I-40 and 421 across from West Forsyth High School. Roger Marion Automotive, the only choice for any fan of the Demon Deacons.
When it comes to local news, you can rely on ABC 45 News, there to cover your story.
Just had to take a stand. We should be compensated way more than we are.
There to get you answers.
It still leaves so much anxiety because it's like we don't know what happened.
There in your community.
We need to help out the people in our community who are struggling.
And there with your no-wait weather.
This area is producing some severe weather tonight.
ABC 45 News, weeknights at 6 and 11, standing up for you.
Welcome back to the Steve Forbes Show.
Harris with his 28th point, and Wake leads at 75-64. Only 23 seconds to go.
Actually, I looked up and everybody was going to the exits. The best feeling in coaching is going on the road and shutting the crowd up. That's a good feeling.
Email your question to Stan and Coach Forbes at wakeradio@learfield.com.
Okay, we are back first half hour. Steve Forbes Show on kind of a special Thursday night because of the weather. Had to push it back from this past Monday. We are back next week, barring any weather, on Monday, 7 to 8. And we only have, this is number 11, 12. We only have 3 more after tonight.
Okay.
It's February. How did we get there?
We're here.
It came quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right, time now for the Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist Game Diagnosis, brought to you by the official healthcare partner of the Demon Deacons. Last time out, Wake and State. I don't know if is there a hotter team in the country playing away from its home arena than NC State?
They're playing well. They went to SMU, I think, this week, right, and won at the buzz. Well, blocked the shot to win the game. So they're playing with a lot of confidence, and that's, I think, what you want to be doing. At this time of year is you want to be playing well, but you want to be playing with a lot of confidence. And you gain a lot of confidence by winning on the road.
I think, I'm trying to remember back, I think State was 4-1 on the road coming into our game, won that game. So that's 5-1. Won at SMU, 6-1.
Yeah.
That's just unheard of.
Yeah, they've done a good job. They got a veteran, group of guys, tough guys. Quadir Copeland really affected the game in the Joel last Saturday by getting down the hill and dribble penetration. In the first game, we turned him over 11 times, and then, maybe it was 11, it was 7. It was a lot. And then this game, he had 10 assists and 1 turnover, and the threes came from his dribble penetration and us forced to help. And I thought most times we didn't give proper help, and he kicked out for threes.
Made a bunch of threes.
Yeah, I mean, you want people to make threes on your terms, not their terms. And, like, for instance, it was very important for us he was going to get downhill dribble penetration-wise, but you force him to shoot and make tough twos. And he made a couple, but not many. But we ran in there off Williams. And if you remember, Williams made 5 threes, 4 of those in the corner. We never even had to dribble. That's not on our terms. Paul McNeil made 6. 3 of those were off the dribble, or 2 or 3, which were, those were tough shots. But the other part of it was, again, off dribble penetration. It really wasn't off the ball screen. It was off us not being able to guard the ball, keep our chest in front of the ball, and them kicking out for shots.
Didn't have Nate Calmes. He's still on the shelf for a time. How'd you feel about your rotation with regard to not having his minutes and what he can do with the ball?
Well, obviously, we miss Nate. I mean, he had 10 points in 10 minutes at Pitt, and then he didn't play in the game. And, he was playing at a really high level. So, Sebastian and Isaac came in, and really, truthfully, we only turned it over 9 times against their pressure. We turned it over a little bit early, and then we kind of settled down and did a pretty good job. And, it puts a lot on those young guys without him to have to handle the ball. And I thought, they did an admirable job of handling the ball. We played good enough offense to win the game. I mean, we shot 47% from the field. We scored 78 points. We shot 87% from the line. We just didn't play good enough defense to win the game.
Yeah, Mark has a question about your overall defense and wants you to assess, the last few games, how you feel about it, and in particular, guarding the three-point line.
Well, I agree. It comes back to guarding the ball. in the beginning of the year, we blitzed ball screens because we don't have a lot of size at the rim, and so we tried to create turnovers on the perimeter, which we did a great job of up until maybe in the non-conference, probably Oklahoma and Vanderbilt. But we were leading one of the top teams in the country of turning defense into offense by stealing the ball and creating easier baskets. But we weren't rebounding it well, so we went back and readjusted our ball screen defense and went to more of being at the level, not blitzing, not getting the big that far out on the court. We switched some. We went under in some games just to try to keep our matchups. But once you do that, you get pulled in a little bit, and then they kick out, and you got to close out to three. And what we did a poor job of, again, on the ball screen defense against NC State, we just didn't guard dribble penetration. They beat us off the dribble, forced help, and then they kicked out and made, those are the kind of threes that you want to get, or drive kick and make those standstill threes.
Juke Harris had a career-high 31 points. He continues to play very, very well. I mean, he's just a special, gifted player.
Yeah, Juke's really competitive. He loves, he pours his heart and soul out there on the court. And, it's hard. He's at the top of the scouting report, and he's still scoring what he's scoring. And, losing Nate, he lost the guy that can get 15, 20 points a game in a game. And so he's getting even more attention. And I thought he handled it really well. He's been really patient. Sometimes when you're in that situation, you tend to force up shots. I don't think he's really done much of that. He's really played within the system and the guys are doing a good job of finding him. Isaac does a good job when he's in there of moving the ball and trying to find him. And, Juke's playing at a really high level. He's made a major jump from his freshman to sophomore year. And, that's the guy we recruited when we recruited him out of Salisbury, 3 years ago. We felt like he was going to be a special player, and he's doing that.
You mentioned Isaac Carr. Jalen Cross was here with us last week. Those two young players, especially with Nate out, getting more minutes.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from them in terms of, it's tough to go out when you play a couple minutes, but when you play 8, 10, 12, you can start to relax a little bit and get more into the flow of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's why Jukes made the jump, because he didn't have that kind of rope last year, when he could play through a bunch of mistakes. He knew he was going to play a lot of minutes. He was coming off the bench. It makes it a little bit tougher, and this year he's got the confidence to play where, Isaac and Jalen are kind of in that same boat. They're coming off the bench, so they don't want to make mistakes. And I thought, for the most part, Isaac did a really good job of moving the ball. And he had a hard time guarding Copeland one-on-one, and we fixed that at halftime. We switched that we weren't really switching it at first, and that kind of shut that down. But I got a lot of faith in Isaac. He's really strong. He's really tough. He can really pass it. He can shoot it. He hasn't probably taken enough shots. I think it was the Pitt game. He had 9 rebounds. He didn't have a rebound, against NC State. Jalen's an energy player, great, really good defender, and he'll play more and more as we go.
Okay, there you go. The Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist game diagnosis. Wake and State. The Deacs move on to the Louisville game on Saturday again. That is a noon start, early tip, 11:30 broadcast time on the Wake Forest Sports Network. Coming up in a little bit, Cooper Schwieger, he's here. He'll talk with us and with you, hopefully. If you want to ask Cooper a couple of questions, feel free to do that. Coach as well. We've got the mic. Just wave at us. We'll get it out there to you, and you can talk basketball one-on-one with the coach of the Deacs. We will return with some more questions after the timeout as you listen to the Steve Forbes Show from Learfield.
At Vibe, we believe interior design has the power to transform experience, shaping how people heal, learn, and perform every day. Whether it's premium hospitality suites, medical education facilities, residence halls, or healthcare environments, we create spaces that inspire connection, focus, and well-being. As respected partners of Wake Forest University and Wake Forest Athletics, we're proud to design environments where champions thrive on the court, in the classroom, and beyond. Discover the impact of great design at vibedesign.com. That's Vibe with 2 I's.
Hey Deacon fans, if you can't make it courtside or want to catch an away game with other Wake fans, Little Richard's Barbecue on Stratford Road should be your first choice to watch Wake basketball games. Enjoy big screen TVs, cold drinks, and all the smoked meats and southern sides you love. Proudly serving Deacon fans since 1991, Little Richard's is the go-to game day spot for Wake fans. Visit us on Stratford Road or order online at littlerichardsbarbecue.com. Go Deacs!
We'll be right back to the Steve Forbes Show after this local timeout on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
Lobs for the dunk. Spiller flushed it on the alley-oop.
Looking for Demon Deacon audio content beyond game day? Download and subscribe to the Wake Forest Sports Network feed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Stay connected to the Deeks all season long.
No, I thought we had great effort. Appreciate the fans. We had a good crowd. Last couple games, we've gotten off to a good start.
Catch every episode of the Jake Dickert Show and the Steve Forbes Show on demand, whether you're in Winston-Salem or anywhere in the world. Download and subscribe today. The Wake Forest Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
For the latest on the Demon Deeks, make sure you start with GoDeeks.com, the official website of Wake Forest Athletics. GoDeeks.com provides easy access to purchase tickets to upcoming games along with the latest news and updates from every team on campus. Plus, you can sign up for daily news alerts straight to your inbox. And of course, hear all the play-by-play action from Wake Forest football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with our coaches' shows as well. GoDeeks.com, the source for all things Wake Forest Athletics.
Be a part of tonight's edition of the Steve Forbes Show.
I always think that's really special when the former players come back. It's not so much for me, it's for our own players too, so they can build a bond and a relationship with those guys that hopefully will last, forever like their bond lasts.
Email your question to Stan and Coach Forbes at wakeradio@learfield.com or tweet your question to the voice of the Deeks at Stan Cotton WF.
Rolling along, Steve Forbes Show on this Thursday night. Miller's on Robin Hood. Great spot. We've had fun here all the way since going back to August. And we're in the home stretch here. Talking basketball tonight with the coach of the Deeks until 8 o'clock. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by R.J. Young, your playbook for more than just copiers. Their cutting-edge solutions cover security systems, business phones, and managed IT and AV technology for your organization. Schedule your free consultation right now at rjyoung.com/Wake Forest. Couple of questions, Coach, about Juke Harris. Kelly wants to know what you can attribute his incredible improvement to mostly. And we've talked about the change in his body. He's gotten a lot stronger that allows him to do some things this year he couldn't do last year. But he's putting the ball in the basket at a high frequency. Rebounds, he does just about everything.
Yeah, the strength thing has been really important for him to be able to play through contact, and especially off the dribble. He's been able to get to his spot. And, he's tall, so he can get his shot up over people, kind of like Hunter did in a different way. And he's got pretty good touch around the basket. So that part's really helped him. I think just having the confidence to know he's going to play minutes. That's a lot of it with, in your improvement when you know that you're going to go out there and play and you can play through mistakes. And, he was playing, he played 40 minutes.
He didn't step off the court. Yeah.
So, that helps you become, a much better player when you're not looking over your shoulder. And he spent a lot of time in the offseason, and he still spends a lot of time right now with Darnell Harris, getting up shots before, after practice. And when you do those things, you have the confidence to make those shots.
And he's averaging right at 33 minutes, which is several minutes higher than anybody else. And David tweeted a question in about, that's tough to do, right? And I know you want to rest him when you can, but sometimes you can't.
But you're right. And I've early in the year he wasn't probably playing that heavy of minutes. We're playing more people. We didn't have the injury either. The other thing is I've been mindful of it in practice. We practiced today, and I had him out. Some of the practice just because he doesn't need all those reps in practice. And it's interesting because Coach Odom was at practice today, and Dave's been a good friend of mine and somebody that's supported me since I've been here. And it just kind of tells you about our team. Like, when I went up to talk to him after practice, he said, man, that practice looked like an October practice. Like, they were so intense. They went hard. And I said, yeah, that's not the problem. These guys really care. They work hard. They prepare. They just, we get in those games. It's consistency in the games and, not having a 4 or 5 minute period like we did, against NC State where, both teams got off to a bad start. It was like 3-2, I think, at the first media timeout. And then, they started to get dribble penetration on us and kicking out. They made some threes. We regrouped at halftime and got it down to 7. Had them kind of teetering, and then they come down and make a 3. and then we fouled the three-point shooter, and we did that twice. Those are just mental mistakes, that you can't do. That kind of got the lead back up to 13, and it was hard to go from there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't question their effort in practice. I don't. They come every day. They're a great group of guys to coach, and Coach Odom, who I respect, saw that today.
At the under 12, going back to the state game, you had them. They had the lead to 19. You had it down to 7.
Yeah,
and I felt really good at that point.
I did too. And then like I said, we came out, and I don't have my notes here because I locked my car. My keys are locked in my car. Don't ask me how I did that. But
how do you do that?
I don't know.
In 2026,
I threw my bag in the back seat. Shut the door, and the entire car locked on me. So I have to drove. Thank God my wife had a car and I could drive hers. I don't remember exactly what that three was. I think it was Matt Abel in the corner that made a three, and then we didn't score. There were 10, and we came down, and we fouled the three-point shooter. You just can't do that, and so that got there. That kind of gave them some more momentum. Had we come out, got to stop, got to score, now it's 5 or 4. It's game on, and games are like that, and every game's like that, and so that's that letdown you just can't have.
All right, we're going to transition to Cooper here after the timeout. Give me not just yet, Cooper. Just hang on. We're going to kind of warm up to you with a Cooper Schwieger story from Coach Forbes over here. I'm not sure where he'll go, or you might want to think about it during the timeout.
Well, Cooper. Cooper was the first day of the portal. I got on a plane and I flew to Bismarck, North Dakota, which I'll never do that again. Anybody ever been to Bismarck before? No, I wouldn't recommend it. And then, you know what the state tree is of North Dakota? Anybody know? Telephone pole. And so from there, we flew to Valparaiso, Indiana, and we met with Cooper and his dad in the FBO there in Valpo, and then flew home and had a great visit, and then got him on a visit. And he visited Clemson, I think, after that. Is that right, Coop? Yeah. And then he turned down a visit, I think, to Michigan, a couple other places. And we were very fortunate to get him. And, you can ask him about his brother, Carson, who he played with all through high school because he's his twin. And then he played with him at Valpo. And then it's been good for, I think, his family. And Carson transferred to Queens, and we played him right after the break. And so his mom and dad had probably a good experience of being able to come see Coop here and then Carson down in Charlotte. And so that's worked out pretty good for him and his family. And he grew up in Kansas City. What high school did you go to? Blue Valley Southwest. You went to high school with one of my former players' daughters. Yeah. And so he's done a good job, and it's getting better and better. And I'll probably think of something to gig him on while I have the.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people in Davie County get in that car now if you'd like to get in there. Bill Merrifield probably knows a couple.
Yeah.
That's Davie County folks. We can get in those cars. If you need to get in there, we can find a way.
Okay.
So if you.
Well, I don't think the Mercedes dealer is going to appreciate that. So, actually there's this app you have, right, I guess. And I traded out my car last week, so my app is not updated. So I don't know how to unlock my car right now, so I have to figure that out. It's in the garage.
I can help you with that.
All
right. We'll take a timeout. Cooper Schwieger is next as you listen to the Steve Forbes Show from Learfield.
Your Harris Teeter grocery haul can earn you savings on gas with our fuel points. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 you spend when you shop with your Vic card on your favorite products, fresh produce, and organic brands. Track your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app and redeem your points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. The more you shop, the more points you earn. It's like getting gas money just for shopping like you normally do. Click to learn more. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Stan Cotton here for Roger Marion Automotive. Roger and his staff have been taking care of me and my family and our cars and trucks for years. From tune-ups to oil changes to a state inspection or that weird sound your engine's making that you can't quite figure out. Roger Marion Automotive can handle whatever issue your vehicle has and get you back on the road with confidence and at a very fair price. Roger Marion Automotive between I-40 and 421 across from West Forsyth High School. Roger Marion Automotive, the only choice for any fan of the Demon Deacons.
More with Coach Forbes after these local messages on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids facing unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Join us in the movement to get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org to learn more. Team Impact. All in, all together.
When the Triad brings ABC 45 News their traffic troubles, we get them resolved.
I really appreciate 45 because you guys advertise. If you have a problem and you can't get it resolved, give us a call.
One viewer had thousands worth of damage to her SUV from a fallen tree by a roadway.
ABC 45 News went to work and had the tree removed in less than a day.
Send your emails to traffictips@abc45.com. Triad traffic troubles on ABC 45 News at 6 and 11.
Welcome back to the Steve Forbes Show. It's time now for our Play of the Week, presented by WXLV ABC 45.
8:24 to go. Wake left side. Omaha Ballou for three. Center cut. He drilled it. Has his 10th. Omaha Ballou with the three. He hit a couple of threes against State. And there's your ABC 45 Play of the Week, brought to you by ABC 45 News, giving you more coverage and dedication to what matters to you. And No Wait Weather with Jonathan Went, ABC 45 News, standing up for you. As promised, Cooper Schwieger is here, 6'10 junior, Overland Park, Kansas. You had a couple of people clapping for you and maybe Overland Park. I don't know. Do you claim Overland Park or Kansas City? Which would you prefer?
Overland Park, probably.
Overland Park, okay. You ever played in the old Kemper Arena?
I think I have, but I couldn't tell you what it is. But it sounds familiar.
You probably, I don't, your dad might know if it's still there.
He probably does.
Okay. The old NAIA National Basketball Tournament used to be at Kemper. It's the only reason I know anything about Overland Park and Kansas City and all that kind of good stuff. But, well, how are things going? Tell us about your stay thus far at Wake Forest and the transition from Valpo to an ACC school. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been tough, to be honest with you. Obviously, there's a big gap in physicality and skill from, mid-major players to high major. And obviously that's been different. But as far as a place to live, Indiana to North Carolina has been like a great transition. I know there's been a lot of snow and stuff going around here, but 30 degrees being the coldest it's been really is kind of a blessing for me. It was like -8 at this time last year, so I'll take this over everything that was going on up there all day long. But it's honestly been great so far, and I've enjoyed it.
Well, tell me about your team right now. Haven't won as many as you'd like. We all know that. Didn't have a midweek game, and I was talking to some of the guys, and they said, look, we'd prefer not having a midweek game right now because we need to get some work in to get ready for the final push. Your take on not playing midweek, getting ready for these final few weeks of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it gives us more time to practice on the things we need to work on. Where sometimes before a game you might try to take it back a notch and make sure everyone's ready. We can actually go at it a little bit more and get those things down. So I've enjoyed the time in between, and I think, obviously, like you said, helping us prepare for the games coming up, and I just think we've kind of needed it. And, kind of turning a page, we haven't gotten off to the start we want, and we know we can do better. I know I can do better as well. So I think, a week like this is good for us to kind of tone into those things that we need to work on and really just get better in the middle of the season, honestly.
Your coach was talking about how hard you guys work, and you typically do. You work very hard. How focused do you think this team is, and determined, maybe is a better word, to finish, the regular season, play in the ACC tournament and try to make some stuff happen?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we got such a connected group of guys where we all want to do it for each other that they're still fighting the tank. And I know, like you said, we can turn this thing around. You know, Forbes was talking at practice today, like all it takes is, you know, one game to kind of flip the switch, flip the narrative on a whole season. So I think this game coming up is a great opportunity at home. And the whole locker room's in it, you know. There's no distractions. It is what it is, and everyone's still striving for the goal to win. And I think we've done a good job keeping that focus. And even if things haven't gone our way so far, there's still a lot of season left, to be honest, to flip things around and get it right back on track.
Coach was talking about, playing your whole life with your brother Carson. What was that like when Queens came to town and you guys were out there playing college basketball with one another, against one another? And I think there was a time when he was guarding you, wasn't?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I remembered that. What was that? What was that like? Was there a bunch of trash talk going on?
Not really. We're not much trash talkers, but like, I don't know. It was super fun. I've obviously never played against him in like a college setting, maybe like out in the driveway at home, but so it was really fun to do that. And then I know what you're talking about. One time I started trying to back him down, and I don't know, I kind of thought, maybe everyone would kind of let us have the moment for a second. Maybe that was arrogant of me to think, and I think I got triple teamed and turned the damn thing over. So I was just kind of like, that wasn't as cool as I kind of imagined going in my head, and it was just a bad play overall, but it was fun for the most part.
You're twins, but you're the older brother by
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So you hold that over him, being the older guy?
Not real. Maybe. I don't. Depends on the day.
Well, you need to.
Maybe I'll start doing a little bit more.
You're a little bit taller than he is.
I am.
So you're older. You're taller.
Yeah.
You've got him for the rest of your life. You've got him right where you want him.
Yeah. I guess you could look at it like that.
Hey, let me ask you a question there, Coop. I've recruited some twins in the past. I recruited Ronell and Donnell Taylor 25 years ago. They were identical twins. I couldn't tell them apart. And their high school coach one time switched their jerseys at halftime because one of them was a little better than the other one. And they couldn't tell. And so as your high school coach, did you ever switch your jerseys at halftime just to mess up the other team?
I don't think we ever did anything like that. Last year, though, there was a play I can think of off the top of my head where we were running in transition, and both of the defenders went with Carson down to the basket, and I got a wide open three because they were arguing. I heard them saying, "You got that one, you got this one," and they were just confused.
Okay, so this is why I don't know names. I learned numbers, right? Everybody even after a game at a press conference, they'll say, "Well, number 32 was a good player." If I learn his name, that just totally messes me up. And we signed, and you probably met him on their visit, Gavin and Gallagher Placide. They're identical twins. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, if they walked in here right now, I couldn't tell them apart. I can't. I just know that Gallagher talks for Gavin a lot. And my guess is you talk for your brother a lot.
I guess it depends on who's feeling chatty that day.
I think it's you. You're pretty chatty.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're chatting with Cooper Swigger. We're going to take a quick time out. More with Coach and Coop, and fans, if you want to talk to Cooper as well, we'll get you into the act. So a quick time out and more on the other side as you listen to the Steve Forbes Show from Learfield.
When it comes to local news, you can rely on ABC 45 News, there to cover your story.
Just had to take a stand. We should be compensated way more than we are.
There to get you answers.
It still leaves so much anxiety because it's like we don't know what happened.
There in your community.
We need to help out the people in our community who are struggling.
And there with your no-wait weather.
This area is producing some severe weather tonight.
ABC 45 News, weeknights at 6 and 11, standing up for you.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
We'll be right back to the Steve Forbes Show after this local timeout on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
For the latest on the Demon Deacs, make sure you start with GoDeacs.com, the official website of Wake Forest Athletics. GoDeacs.com provides easy access to purchase tickets to upcoming games along with the latest news and updates from every team on campus. Plus, you can sign up for daily news alerts straight to your inbox. And of course, hear all the play-by-play action from Wake Forest football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with our coaches' shows as well. GoDeacs.com, the source for all things Wake Forest Athletics.
Wake left side, Harris tries a long three on perimeter. Good rebound, stop. Colvin, the athlete, took off to the basket when the ball left the hands of Harris. Flies through the air. Stinger would say like Superman.
The Joel is the place to be as Wake Forest men's basketball takes the court against some of the nation's best this season. Single game tickets are available now. Secure your seats today at godeeks.com/tickets. Go Deeks.
Welcome back to the Steve Forbes Show.
They'll get the ball to Spillers, to Calmes, back to Spillers for stuff. Oh, what great ball movement from Wade.
His transformation has really been impressive. He came here as a scorer, and he can score. We've asked him to be the point guard. I think he's done an absolutely incredible job getting everybody involved.
Email your question to Stan and Coach Forbes at wakeradio@learfield.com.
Okay, rolling right along. Where'd the time go? We are at, about 7:39, going to straight up 8 o'clock, talking Wake basketball right now with Deacon Jr. Cooper Schwieger. And Coach Forbes is here as well. It's his show. He'd better be here. And you can be a part of the show, wakeradio@learfield.com. That's an email address, or you can tweet at Stan Cotton WF. If you come here in person, you can grab the mic from Coach and ask us a question. So how many folks call you Schweiger instead of Schwieger?
I'd say about 90%.
About 90%,
probably.
I probably did that myself before.
Are you related to Jimmy Swaggart, or is that Jimmy Schwieger?
I don't even know who that is.
I'm not surprised. Hey, man. I know I shouldn't have said that. I aged myself considerably doing that. Talk about your decision after high school to go to Link Prep down in Branson, basically, right?
Yeah.
Do you like country music? Did you go out to all those country music places?
I got to be careful with my answer here, but I'm not the biggest fan of country music.
Okay, all right.
Depends.
Because that's like the country music capital of the Midwest.
Yeah. So I don't know. After high school, I wasn't very good. So, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I had an AAU coach recommend going to a prep school, and I kind of thought that was like crazy at the time. And, time went along, and I had no clue what I was going to do. So I ended up, going there. I went there with my twin brother, actually. And we actually had a pretty solid team. And the high school team, that was the year the high school team won it. Was it like Geico or whatever? Yeah. So we had like and we scrimmaged them through the year. So I was kind of surrounded by like really good competition for like a whole year. And you have a little bit of school and class there, but it's like you're focused on basketball for a whole year. So you kind of get the, focus for a whole year and get better. And then I was talking to a bunch of colleges throughout that time period, but didn't really get any offers. But just, I think 12 out of the 13 people on my team went D1. So it's kind of like being surrounded by that kind of talent. You kind of, understand, where you stand at a level of, recruiting and where you think you could play at. Obviously everyone thinks they're the greatest player in the world, but when you're around players that are better, like one dude's in the NBA that was on the high school team, and like Cadeau on Michigan, he was on that team. So there was just a bunch of good players. And so then, after that, I ended up going to Valparaiso after that.
But you weren't at Link with Omaha, right?
I was not, but I remember seeing his name up on the wall for his like measurements or whatever in the weight room. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was there the year before, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Link Prep's got a really good program.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was probably good for you, and probably an eye-opener of the level of talent that they have.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, you're around, 20-plus D1 players, high major, mid-major, whatever it is, and, you get the feel for it. It's a good program.
So what do you like to do in your spare time? Do you have spare time?
It depends on the day, but, I play video games, hang out with my friends. Every vague, basic answer I could give is...
Vague?
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know.
You're a college student. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
What kind of things do you get into?
I mean, what do you get into? I don't know.
Well, Cooper, I'm 61. I'm 60 years old, so what I get into, what you get into, are two different things. All right.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. You can tell what practice is like between me and him.
Would you like to, Coop? Would you like to stay the rest of the show?
Why not?
Just you two are. You two are pretty. You two are having a pretty good show.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Why did you choose Wake? Besides me.
Well, yeah, that's. Well, like you told the story earlier, you guys were the first people to come see me, and that made me feel special or whatever.
Who called? Do you remember who called your dad while we were sitting there talking?
At the airport?
Yeah, because your dad told me.
No, I don't.
It was Bill Self.
Oh.
Bill Self called.
Yeah, I don't know.
I called Bill Self after I left, told him to quit calling.
Sounds about right.
I did. Trust me, I did. What attracted you to Wake?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first, when you enter the portal and, you're like a high recruit or whatever, everyone tells you, how good you are and you could do this and blah, blah, blah. And you guys were the first people to sit down and obviously recruit me and be like, blah, 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 but you need to work on this, this, and this. And I felt like you and Woodley were the two that came and were the most authentic people I had talked to with just life. I feel like, how you act, with me on that visit is still how you act today in practice. And I feel like I really appreciate, not a level of fake.
Does that not count how I started out practice today?
No, I mean, that was real.
Okay. All right. Just check. All right. Okay.
He had some things to say to start practice, but it was fair enough. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they were the most real people. Like I said, you told me what you guys thought I could get better at, and negatives with positives. I feel like that's something I appreciated, and I don't know. I guess that was kind of. And then the visit was great.
I think you've worked really hard to get better. And then I use you as an example of when I was a junior college coach, and then when I recruited junior college players to Division I, it's a big jump. And coming from the Valley's a great league. I coached in it at two different schools, but it's not the ACC.
Yeah.
It's not the level of athleticism and size. And so I do think there's an adjustment period, and I understand that for players like you. And so I think, you have gained more and more confidence as we've gone. And I think one of the things you do the best, and you haven't done it enough yet, is shoot the three. I mean, you're a really good three-point shooter, and you're a really good free throw shooter. And so we just got to get you to shoot more shots.
Yeah, missed a couple free throws lately, which I haven't been throwing.
Yeah, but what are you shooting for the year?
77%.
Yeah, pretty good for a big. I've seen bigs shoot about 40% in my life, so that's pretty good.
Hopefully I don't get there.
37 at the arc, that's really good.
37, yeah. He's got to shoot more.
Yeah. You hear that?
I do. I hear.
Let it fly, big fella. You got permission right there.
I know. I'll work on it.
We'll save this piece of tape, and if he gets on you for taking some,
I'm not going to do that. I promise you.
We'll send it to him.
Yeah. All right.
There he is, folks. Cooper Schwiger. How about that? Appreciate you coming out. Good stuff. We're going to take a little time out, but first, I want to remind everybody that since 1909, our buddies at Norman Stockton have been dressing Demon Deacon. I should have let him read this. Demon Deacon fans for every occasion. Keep going.
You'll find a tremendous selection of Wake golf shirts, quarter zips, vests, jackets, belts, and a whole lot more. Conveniently located in Renolda Village, adjacent to campus. Come visit Norman Stockton today.
There you go. We'll take a time out. We'll have Coach on the other side as you listen to Wake basketball from Learfield.
Stan Cotton here for Roger Marion Automotive. Roger and his staff have been taking care of me and my family and our cars and trucks for years. From tune-ups to oil changes to a state inspection or that weird sound your engine's making that you can't quite figure out. Roger Marion Automotive can handle whatever issue your vehicle has and get you back on the road with confidence and at a very fair price. Roger Marion Automotive between I-40 and 421 across from West Forsyth High School. Roger Marion Automotive, the only choice for any fan of the Demon Deacons.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
More with Coach Forbes after these local messages on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
It's electric here at the Joel. Holy cow, what a no-look pass. And another. And another. Never have I seen this many assists in one possession. This is flawless execution, Bob.
Hey, I'm thirsty too, but watching bottles of ice-cold Pepsi get passed from vendors down to Deeks fans in the middle seats is not the play-by-play we're here to do. Eyes back on the court. I'll buy you a Pepsi at the half.
No one's better than you, Bob.
It's Wake Hoop season, so pass the Pepsi. Proud partner of Wake Forest basketball.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids facing unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Join us in the movement to get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org to learn more. Team Impact. All in, all together.
Be a part of tonight's edition of the Steve Forbes Show.
When you go to try to dunk it, you're going to get fouled because you're coming down with the ball. And then he tried to, lay it up, and he found out that this ain't the Missouri Valley.
Email your question to Stan and Coach Forbes at wakeradio@learfield.com or tweet your question to the voice of the Deeks at Stan Cotton WF.
Okay, rolling right along here. We are quickly running out of time, and Cooper did a great job.
He did. I'm not surprised. He's a bubbly personality for sure. So
we're gonna spring the mic on the Wake students over there, the basketball table. They don't know we're coming, but we're back for more, guys.
Yes, this is a surprise attack. I have another question. You talked about how you've changed your ball screen coverage throughout this year. Are there any other changes you've made throughout the season with this group and your coaching style, sort of?
That's a good question. Offensively, we've still tried to play up-tempo as fast as we can, but, sometimes when you're shorthanded, you might want to pull off a little bit, and maybe not try to play as fast. But I think it gives us the best opportunity to score. So most of the we put in new stuff every week to try to get, especially guys like Juke, more shots. But it's probably more defensively than offensively. We've tried multiple things defensively. Not so much getting hurt on the ball screen, but more what it looks like when the shot goes up to try to keep better matchups to box out. For instance, if you switch every ball screen and the 5 sets a ball screen on the 1, who's blocking out the 5 now on the switch? The point guard. That's not an advantageous thing for us. Sometimes it is, but not for us this year. When you go under ball screens, you got a better chance of keeping everybody in their matchups. When you blitz them, then you try to steal it and you try to get it. It's a gamble. When you play level, like we've been doing, then you have to pull in on the roll. And when you pull in on the roll, then you have to get back out to the shooter on the skip or the one more. And so, it's probably more defensively than offensively.
So obviously you teach a lot of these players and help develop a lot of those basketball skills, but I was just kind of curious what's being done to help develop a little bit more of the leadership and a little bit more of the locker room presence that these players are.
Yeah, that's something that you talk to them, like really in the fall. We spent 2 weeks and maybe 3 weeks in the classroom before practice talking about certain topics. Like we talked a lot about our core values, about our identity, then I went through a litany of things about life and leadership. And then you hope that carries over to, the players in the locker room or somebody on the team that can step up and lead. Leadership, it comes in different ways, right? It can be how you play. Like Hunter was a good leader. He just didn't talk a lot, but he did it by the way he practiced and the way he carried himself. Epton was a great leader talking, right? He was a great talker. You can hear him on the court. And he's, he pretty much always said the right thing. This year's group, the seniors, Nate's new. Now he's out. He's a little quiet. Trey's somebody that, steps up and says the right things at the, usually at the right time. Leadership is something that you're not sure every year when you go in. You try to, encourage it and develop it. There's been years, be honest with you, not so much here, but where I've not had one. I've just had to be the leader because you just like, all right, don't say that. You know what I mean? Like, so it just depends year to year. It's interesting. And then you hope that after that in life, they become good leaders. And I think when you play competitive sports like they're playing at an elite level, it teaches you to do that.
Well, I got to sneak in a final timeout, maybe some more with the guys and anybody else on the other side right now. This final word as you listen to the Steve Forbes Show from Learfield.
Hey, Deacon fans. If you can't make it courtside or want to catch an away game with other Wake fans, Little Richard's Barbecue on Stratford Road should be your first choice to watch Wake basketball games. Enjoy big screen TVs, cold drinks, and all the smoked meats and southern sides you love. Proudly serving Deacon fans since 1991, Little Richard's is the go-to game day spot for Wake fans. Visit us on Stratford Road or order online at littlerichardsbarbecue.com. Go Deeks.
At Vibe, we believe interior design has the power to transform experience, shaping how people heal, learn, and perform every day. Whether it's premium hospitality suites, medical education facilities, residence halls, or healthcare environments, we create spaces that inspire connection, focus, and well-being. As respected partners of Wake Forest University and Wake Forest Athletics, we're proud to design environments where champions thrive on the court, in the classroom, and beyond. Discover the impact of great design at vibedesign.com. That's Vibe with 2 I's.
We'll be right back to the Steve Forbes Show after this local timeout on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
When the Triad brings ABC 45 News their traffic troubles, we get them resolved.
I really appreciate 45 because you guys advertise. If you have a problem and you can't get it resolved, give us a call.
One viewer had thousands worth of damage to her SUV from a fallen tree by a roadway.
ABC 45 News went to work and had the tree removed in less than a day.
Send your emails to traffictips@abc45.com. Triad traffic troubles on ABC 45 News at 6 and 11.
Your Harris Teeter grocery haul can earn you savings on gas with our fuel points. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 you spend when you shop with your Vic card on your favorite products, fresh produce, and organic brands. Track your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app and redeem your points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. The more you shop, the more points you earn. It's like getting gas money just for shopping like you normally do. Click to learn more. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Okay, back for our final few minutes here with Coach Steve Forbes and some of the Wake guys over there. This is going to be, they got one more question.
Oh, here we go.
Greenway Village Dental question of the night, because you deserve to have a beautiful smile. You've got one anyway. Fire away.
Hi, Coach Forbes.
Hey, bud.
Thanks for having us out tonight. My question in general is what does the preparation look like for the Louisville game coming up? You know, players like Mikel Brown for Louisville, obviously performing fantastic this season, look like top draft pick. In general, what's the preparation? What's the mindset looking like for a ranked opponent for this weekend?
Is your nickname Opie? No? All right, just checking.
You know who Opie is?
I mean, you should. You go, oh,
See,
my
he doesn't know.
Oh, my God. See? You live right here by Mount Airy, dude. You need to go look. You know, we started today. Obviously, it's a very guard-heavy team, right? We know you mentioned Brown, but obviously our guy who we saw last year bang us for 3, McNeely from Virginia, can really shoot it. Cornwell, we played against him last year. You know where? Xavier. And then Wooley's a good player that came from Kennesaw State. So it's a very guard-oriented team. They shoot a lot of threes. And so we have to be very tight in our sometimes ball screen action, but more probably off-ball action on their screening and their what we would call squeezing or, when they throw it to the post, they cut, they flare. There's a lot of things off-ball we got to be in tuned on. And so I thought we had a good day of preparation today. They run a lot of kind of action with 3 guys, 2 guys maybe not as mobile or moving around. So we'll have to really be tight in the half court because they're going to shoot a lot of threes. And then when they shoot them, you got to rebound them, right? And the long shots lead to long rebounds. And so the guards, are going to have to do a good job of rebounding down to get the ball.
What's the best thing that Louisville does, do you think?
I think their guards. I mean, they, Pat's done a good job of getting the kind of team he likes to recruit. They like to shoot a lot of threes. They play at a fast pace. They can get up and down the court. They play hard. I think probably more than anything is just their perimeter attack off the dribble and transition and then threes. And we're going to have to do a better job of guarding the ball. That doesn't mean that, that their bigs can't score around the basket. They can, but that's not the best thing that they do.
Time to circle the wagons on Saturday now. Got to find a way to win this one.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's a big game, and it's a quad one opportunity at home. We haven't gotten a lot of those. Got more this year than ever. And so it's a noon tip. Be ready to go. We had a good practice today. We'll have one tomorrow and get ready to go at noon on Saturday. I know you guys will all be there. Rain or snow or sleet or whatever we're going to have, or none. Hopefully it'll be nice, and maybe then next week I'll get my mail delivered because I haven't had any mail here in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get your car out of your garage.
That's right. We got a lot of bad things going on.
Cooper Swigger, thanks for coming out. Thanks all you folks for coming out as well. We'll see you back here on Monday night, 7 o'clock sharp for the Steve Forbes Show. We'll see you Saturday at the Joel.
Listening to the Steve Forbes Show on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show has been brought to you by Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official healthcare partner of the Demon Deacons. The proceeding has been a Learfield presentation of the Wake Forest Sports Network.